All right, I'm live on YouTube and Instagram. What's up? What's up, Instagram? What's up, YouTube? It's none other than your boy JGiddins, the father. Today's episode is going to be called D-Log or Dream Log. I don't know if that's a real thing, but if not, I made it up. Put it in the Giddins dictionary, baby. Um, so I decided I'm going to be doing something called D-Logs. In order for me to. What's up, Tim? Appreciate you stopping by, man. Um, Grand rising to you. But I decided to do something called a dream log that I'm going to start doing every day. Hey, Tim, if you can hear this, try not to say morning because that casts negative spells on yourself. You know what I mean? It leads your day off with a negative vibe of loss. That's what the word morning does to you. That's why they taught you to say good morning. I don't want to get all deep and be all, you know what I'm saying, to the point where it's like, nigga, shut up. I say, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying that to you. You want to try to not say words like that. They cast spells on you, and that's the reason why you have negativity and don't know about it. But grand rising to you. You want to say something like that. But again, I decided to have these I take notes. So I've been taking notes right when I wake up on like what my dream was and what I can remember about it. I'm gonna be doing last night, so I'm gonna say the night of May 9th and the night of May 8th, right? May 8th, the other night, I had a dream, and I can't quite put a finger on exactly what happened during the dream, but I know that there was a huge UFO in the sky. You know, I remember that I was in the house and there was a huge UFO in the sky. I went and grabbed my goddess, Danielle, and I ran outside with her and showed her, and we pointed up at the sky, and it was just the sky was covered with a UFO. It was kind of like Independence Day, so to speak. And I can't remember much more about that dream. So that's all I got for May 8th, which is why I didn't do a whole session for just May 8th. Also because I didn't think of doing this until this morning. So I couldn't have done it for yesterday. All right, so let's move on to May 9th. Now a lot of these, and this is again a D log or a dream log for myself and for anybody else who cares enough to want to pay attention to the kind of things that I'm talking about. Um, so May 9th, I just took down a bunch of notes on these two papers of random events that I can remember. So these may not be in order, but the first thing I wrote down was Tevin, D-Man, and I were in a room discussing things. Keith came up and I pointed him out in a picture. Now, the what I remember about that is I remember Tevin. Tevin is one of my, he's someone I considered a brother at one point, you know, and we were really close, like during the ages of my life of like 20 and like 25, like we had like a long run of us just kind of hanging out. But Tevin D Man is also what I considered at one point to be a brother of mine. If you know me from any past time of mine, about 3 years or prior, you probably seen me with D Man. But again, we were all in a room. Tevin was sitting at the table. I remember Tevin just looking at me like, you know what I mean? He just had this look like, and I was looking at him, and then somebody came up behind me and like grabbed me like this. It was like, doing like a little, how fellas do with each other playing or whatever. And I saw it was him, and I was like, D man, and I was like, yo, why you just roll out on me like that? You know what I mean? Because we was real close, and then one day he just sent me a message saying he ain't had no rap for me. He wasn't talking to me no more, and that was it. After us having like 13 straight years of just being together every day and everything. So I had kind of mentioned that to him, and we just kind of was all talking at the table. I don't remember a lot more about that, so I'm gonna leave that at that. The next thing that I got here is my goddess and I were riding in a car to get dropped off somewhere, but we got out due to um, geez, I was writing really quickly, guys. We got out due to uncomfortability and walked just past the McDonald's. So I wrote this to remind myself. Basically, we were in, I don't know if we was in an Uber or in some sort of a car or something, but we were in the back seat, and I just remember the aura feeling wrong, and there was some sort of a issue with the people who were driving the car or something, and we just got out. We was like, just let us out. We don't want to be in here, whatever. We got out, and then we were walking. We was like, forget it, just let us out right here. We can walk the rest of the way. And I know wherever we were walking to it was about a block past a McDonald's, because we saw like the McDonald's sign as we was walking. We was going, and that's all I got there. Um, Next one I got, discussed Ifrit and Shiva with someone. So Ifrit and Shiva are mythological creatures which probably not myth, right? But mythological creatures, if you will, that were on a game called Final Fantasy VII, and they've been used throughout other, mythologies and things, and comics and things like that as well. Shiva is the goddess of ice, um, and like she just makes snowstorms and controls ice and cold things. And Ifrit is like a beast, a god beast of fire. You can look him up. Ifrit is Ifrit, and Shiva is Shiva. But long story short, in this dream, excuse my children, by the way, guys, so you might hear them in the background, but that's all just organic sounds you hear. But again, me and another guy, we were discussing Ifrit and Shiva, and I remember me talking about them, and he actually gave a name for them that I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't Ifrit, because I kept saying, bro, that's Ifrit. That's Ifrit. I was like, I remember Ifrit because I was playing him on Final Fantasy. I was like, I remember Ifrit, and he was like, that's such and such. He said another name, but I can't remember, man. These are the things that I'm trying to jog. But I want to be able to go back to these types of memories in the future. Let me move forward because this needs to be a log, a consistent log. So next I wrote, was tossed out of some sort of vehicle across the ocean on a large body of water. So like there was like, how you have highways? There was like a highway that was circling upward like this, and we were driving on it. And when we got to this bend like this, for some reason I had my arm out the window, like I had a controller in my hand of some sort, and it like just pulled me out of the car. And I remember like just flying away out on top of the ocean, like away off of the highway. So picture if the highway's here and this is just a bunch of water. I just kind of flew out. You know what I mean? And I looked back at everybody that was in the car and was like, "I'll meet you over there." You know what I mean? And I flew out over the ocean, and then I remember like a beautiful sunset over the ocean as I was flying. And then fast forward, it comes to my next memory that I jotted down. Floated in the water. I floated in the water on some sort of boat, like some sort of boat with an alligator type of creature, who the person I was with assured me wouldn't get us, but I was scared. So I feel like this part was symbolic. Basically, like after I landed in the water, I don't know exactly what order this happened in, to be honest with you, but I just jotted down what I could remember clearly. I was in the water and we were on like some sort of a boat, and there was like an alligator creature. Think about the movie Lake Placid if you ever seen it, but it was like an overgrown alligator type of creature in the water. And I was like, oh my God, what is that thing? And he was telling me like, don't worry about it, bro. Like, calm down. It's not worried about us. It's not going to get us. And I was like, no, it is, and I was panicking. And then it flipped us over, flipped over the boat. And so we're underneath the boat. Picture like, the way a boat forms like like this when it's upside down. We were in that floating with our feet in the water. And I just remember being scared that it was going to get me. I can't really tie together what happened right after that. But jump to the next thing. So that's my first page, right? Now this one get a little raunchy for you, right? But look, so and again, these are scattered across, so I don't know. There was a point where I woke up in the middle of my sleep, and then I went back to sleep, or I woke up and then I lay back down to rest. I shouldn't say sleep; I more so would say rest. But the first note that I have is we were in a house with divine insight upstairs. So divine insight, who is known as I am Rashad Jamal. If you guys follow him, if you're spiritually awakened, you probably have heard of him at least. But he was upstairs in a house. Like I remember I was in a house and I went up the steps and I looked to my right. I was looking for something. I looked to my left, and him and his goddess were engaging in sexual activities in the room to the left. And I looked over and I was just like, wow, like I just, you know what I mean? I'm not going to vividly describe it. I just want to make sure that happening is logged in my dream. So I went back downstairs, right? I don't remember things clearly past that. Let's move on to the next thing. So the next thing I wrote down was we were all in a room playing cards or something while people were having sex in the room across the hall, right? So there was a point where it was me and like, I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 other people gathered around a table, and across like this way to the right, there was like a door that was open and there were people in there. And one of them, two of them, one of them was a tall guy was having sex with another woman that was in there, and the door was open, and we could see it. You know what I mean? And I remember a woman that was sitting next to me, a goddess that was sitting next to me, leaned over like this with a camera. You know what I mean? Like with a camera like this, like she was recording it. And I looked over at her like, "What you doing? Don't record it." You know what I mean? And then that's really all I can remember from that particular note that I jotted down. Now, then the next thing I wrote was, they left the door open and a goddess sitting next. Oh, that's what I just explained to you. Yeah, I remembered that before I read the note down. So, all right. So the last thing I remembered was there was an attractive goddess who mentioned something about going to Las Vegas. She was wearing some sort of blue colored garment, and I complimented her physique as I got up from the table we were sitting at. Now I'm not sure if this was the same table that I was at when I mentioned what I just mentioned before about the people being across the hall, but we were in a room or something, and she was wearing like some sort of like blue lace outfit or something. And I remember me saying something to her, complimenting her, and I also remember her discussing something about going to Las Vegas. Las Vegas was brought up for something. I think she was traveling there, or she had just come back from there and was about to go back. I can't remember, but there was discussion around Las Vegas. So I woke up this morning and I had all these thoughts and images in my mind, and I laid down last night with the intent of dreaming, or with the intent of having some sort of a visual that I could then in the morning decipher. And this is what I came up with. So I'm gonna just try to. This is my first night of doing this. I'm gonna try to every night just log it. So far, we had night before last. I had a UFO invasion dream, basically, and then the next night, I had a dream about me meeting up with some old acquaintances that I was really, really close to, and us, traveling and going on a mission to do something. See, there's other things that's coming back to my mind even now as I think about it. I know after I flew out of remember I said I flew out on the highway over the ocean and everything. After that, I met back up with them somewhere in some sort of a building or something. We were having discussions, and we were about to go somewhere else to do something. I can't remember. Let me not say I can't remember, because you speak that into existence when you say that. I'm having trouble remembering clearly what that was. But again, I'm gonna make sure to log these things, and I want to thank anybody who took the time to listen, for your attentiveness and your energy that you give me by paying attention to me. I love everybody who is watching this. I love every sentient being. If you're out there, I just want to tell you that. Um, I don't know if I said it at the beginning of this video because I had the intent of going straight into this D-log, but please remember to be positive, optimistic, and keep positive people in your circle, baby. Me and my goddess were having a conversation recently about negativity and how infectious it is, and how just being around somebody who's negative can draw onto you. And sometimes those, spirits will come for you when they sense that you have a high vibration. So make sure that you have positive people around you. Make sure the people around you are steering you in the right way. I did a video yesterday talking about how you need to make sure that if somebody's not able to be honest with you enough to give you good criticism, to tell you when you're doing something wrong, you don't want to be around that person, because they're gonna enable you to do things that is not in your best interest. And that's always an issue. All right. That's all I got for now, man. I'll be seeing you guys shortly. I love everybody. Again, remember to be positive, be optimistic, and keep positive people in your circle, baby. It's your boy JGiddins out. And make sure to keep your frequency high. Take a look at this chart right here and understand what this means. Understand what this means. I got another one over here. Let me put it a little closer for you. I've showed you guys this plenty of times, but just so that you see it, right? This is called, oh, my apologies. I had it upside down. This is called the chakra chart, or the chakra system. This represents our our etheric or energy, presence while in this vessel. So you want to make sure that you have that energy presence aligned with what you want the universe to give you. If you're always in your lower self, your sacral chakra, your root chakra, you're going to invite things that are sacralist and rootish, right? Which is fighting, anger, aggression, sex, lust, all those kind of things. Coincidentally, that part of the dream that I told you guys about that involved sexual things, that happened after I woke up out of my sleep, looked over at my goddess, right? And she built real nice, right? So I looked over at her and I got some kind of some sacral vibes from looking at her, and I got in my root chakra a little bit, and then I went back to sleep. And you notice that was the outcome. Um, but again, that's all I got. Every time I say I'm great, go, I don't do it because I could sit here all day and talk to you guys, man. I mean, I really feel like I don't know. I feel a bond with being able to share with people. I think that's the reason I'm here. I've always felt like, my life was meaningless if I wake up and I don't impact somebody else's day, or I'm not interacting with somebody. So again, love you guys. Be positive, optimistic. Keep positive people in your circle. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're watching this. If you're watching this on Instagram, go peep me on YouTube. Everything is JGiddins the Father. You can look up JGiddins. You can find JGiddins on anything. Google JGiddins. It'll come up, right? Because my presence is effervescent. My presence is there, right? You type in JGiddins, you're gonna find me. Even though that's not a culturally appropriate name for me, but I took ownership over it. It's mine now. All right.